In the silence that followed a heartbreaking news across the football world, a name filled with light and hope went quiet. Diogo Jota, a boy from the streets of Portugal, whose every step on the pitch made hearts beat faster, left us too soon. But his memory will live forever. This is a story of love and life, of dreams and a relentless fight that never ended. Join us as we revisit his brief yet meaningful destiny. In a small town called Massarelos, Portugal, a boy was born on the 2nd of December, 1996. A boy with a quiet smile and dreams louder than the ocean that touched his city. He was named Diogo José Teixeira da Silva, but the world would come to know him simply as Diogo Jota. As a child, the streets of his neighborhood became his first stadium. The cracked pavements were his training ground, and the echoes of the ball against the walls were the music of his childhood. There was no luxury, no big boots, no perfect pitches, only a small boy chasing a ball until the sun went down, returning home with dirt on his clothes and hope in his eyes. They say talent is born, but greatness is built. And Diogo was building himself moment by moment, kick by kick, learning how to rise every time he fell on the concrete, learning how to smile even when the game was hard, learning to love the ball truly with his whole heart. His parents worked hard, his family sacrificed, so their boy could play football at Paços de Ferreira, a small club with big dreams. Every morning, Diogo would wake up early, carrying a bag that was heavier than him, taking long bus rides just to train, just to feel the grass under his feet for a few hours. He wasn't the biggest on the pitch. He wasn't the fastest. But there was something in his eyes, a hunger that could not be taught, a spirit that would not break. Every time he touched the ball, it was like he was telling the world, "I belong here." And slowly, the boy who played on cracked streets began to rise. The world didn't notice at first. There were no cameras, no roaring crowds. Only the sound of the ball, the cold morning air, and a promise he made to himself. One day, I will play for the world to see. His coaches saw it too. They saw the spark. They saw a boy who would stay behind after training, practicing until the lights were turned off, never complaining, never asking for rest. And in those moments, when no one was watching, when the world was silent, a quiet boy from Massarelos was becoming Diogo Jota, the boy with a dream, the boy who refused to give up, the boy who would carry his family's hopes on his shoulders, and one day carry the hopes of millions. This was just the beginning, because destiny was waiting, and Diogo Jota was ready to meet it. They say when the world is ready, it will notice you. For Diogo Jota, that moment finally came. At just 17, he stepped onto the pitch for Paços de Ferreira's first team, wearing the jersey he had dreamed of since he was a child, playing against men twice his size, with a heart that refused to be small. Every touch, every sprint, every goal was a message to the world. I am here, and I will not be ignored. In 2016, a door opened. Atletico Madrid called. A young Portuguese boy was about to leave home for the first time, chasing the dream that kept him awake at night. But it wasn't easy. In Spain, he fought for a place, for minutes, for recognition. But Diogo never gave up. He moved to Porto on loan, and something changed. The boy who once played on cracked streets now stood under stadium lights, scoring goals, creating moments of magic, becoming a nightmare for defenders. With every match, he grew. With every goal, he believed. But destiny wasn't done with him yet. In 2017, a new chapter began as he joined Wolverhampton Wanderers, a club with a vision, a club that believed in his fire. In England, under the cold rain and loud crowds, Diogo found a new home. He became a warrior on the field, fearless, pressing high, dribbling past defenders, scoring goals that made the world take notice. From a young boy in Portugal to a star in the English Championship, helping Wolves rise to the Premier League, Diogo's journey was no longer just about him. It became about the dreams of everyone who watched him, about hope, about proving that it doesn't matter where you come from, but how hard you fight for where you want to be. His goals were not just goals, they were stories, written with every strike, every celebration, every fist in the air. And in 2019, when Wolves qualified for the Europa League, it felt like a prophecy fulfilled. The boy who dreamed under the Portuguese sky was now shining under the lights of Europe. This was the rise of Diogo Jota. But the best was yet to come. Liverpool, a city of music, rain, and football. A place where legends walk, where history breathes inside Anfield. In September 2020, the call came. Diogo Jota was going to Liverpool. For a boy who once played on cracked streets, wearing a Liverpool jersey was more than just a transfer. It was a dream he carried in his heart every time he kicked a ball, every time he closed his eyes before sleep. Walking through the tunnel of Anfield, hearing, "You'll never walk alone," for the first time, he felt the weight of history, the hope of millions, the responsibility of wearing red. But Diogo was not afraid. From the first match, he showed why he belonged. He scored on his Premier League debut for Liverpool, and the cop roared, calling his name, welcoming him not just as a player, but as one of their own. His style was fearless. High-pressing, sharp movements, a hunger to fight for every ball. In a team full of stars, he became a star himself, creating moments that fans would never forget. Hat tricks, crucial goals, headers that defied gravity, a spirit that lifted the team when they needed it most. But it wasn't just about goals. It was the way he played, the way he fought, the way he smiled after scoring, reminding everyone that football is still about passion, about love for the game, about playing with your heart. Every time he scored at Anfield, he made a boy in Portugal believe that dreams can come true. Every time he celebrated for every kid who once played in the streets, hoping for a chance. Liverpool became his home. Anfield became his stage. And Diogo Jota, the quiet boy with the loud dreams, became a hero in red. This was the Liverpool dream, the chapter where Diogo Jota became more than just a player. He became a part of the Liverpool family, a part of football history.
We've got some incredibly tragic news, and that is that Liverpool and Portugal forward Diogo Jota has died in a car accident in Spain.
The football world was shaken by the heartbreaking news. Diogo Jota, a rising star, a warrior on the pitch, a beloved figure, was gone far too soon. Messages poured in from every corner of the globe. Teammates, rivals, coaches, and fans shared their grief and their memories. Tears were shed, not just for the player, but for the man who inspired so many. His coaches remembered his relentless work ethic. His teammates spoke of his kindness and infectious spirit. Rivals paid tribute to his talent and determination. Fans lit candles, held up scarves, and flooded social media with messages of love and loss. In stadiums around the world, moments of silence echoed. a collective pause to honor a life that burned bright, though far too briefly. For a player who gave everything on the field, this goodbye felt cruel and unreal. Yet, even in sorrow, his legacy lives on. In every young player who looks up to him, in every fan who cheers his name, and in the heart of football itself. Diogo Jota's story may have ended too soon, but the impact he made will echo forever. Everything seemed like it was finally falling into place. Just days before, Diogo Jota lifted a trophy with Portugal, a smile on his face, proudly holding his country's flag. Days later, he became a champion with Liverpool, unable to hide the childlike joy in the locker room. In those same days, he married the love of his life. The photos were filled with smiles, with hope, with life. No one knew these would be Diogo's last smiles. On the day he left, he was with his brother. The two brothers who had always stood by each other, in joy and in pain, left this world together. Football stood still. It felt like the world held its breath for a moment. Tears fell from the eyes of players and coaches who had fought alongside him. Fans around the world held up Liverpool and Portugal scarves, lighting candles for the man who made their hearts beat faster. How cruel it is that just when you are at your highest, when everything feels right, life can suddenly take you away. Yet, even in the sorrow of this goodbye, something remains unshaken. The love he gave to football, to life, to the people around him. His laughter after scoring, his tears in moments of victory, and the look in his eyes always filled with hope will stay with us forever. Diogo Jota, a champion who left too soon, but will forever live on in our hearts.